What's up everybody, Nyonyxx here. Got another video for you. This is going to be the part 6 or volume 6 of the Learn Massive Like a Pro series. This is going to be the beginner section or the more basic section, but probably anybody can learn a little bit from it. If this is the first video you clicked on of mine, I have my YouTube channel with over 80 how to make certain sounds in massive videos for almost any popular EDM song out right now. And then my Facebook page has well over 100 free presets that you can download, which will not only give you the sounds you're looking for, hopefully, but also help you learn how to design your own sounds by seeing how other sounds are made. But in this part of the video, this part of the series, I'm going to show you how LFO and the modulation oscillators work. They're not really intertwined, but I thought I'd just tie them together for the sake of the video. In my previous videos, I showed you the basics of the oscillators, the inserts, the FX, the filters, and the envelopes, also the voicing and the OSC tab. So if you need to go back and check those out, I urge you to. And also at a later date, or maybe by the time you watch this, I'll have more advanced tutorials on advanced routing and advanced layering and 3D mixing and other things like that that'll help your songs sound better and stand out in the mix. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and go to a new sound. The background melody we're going to be playing today is Benny Benassi, Satisfaction. Yeah. So I thought that'd be cool to play because I get tired of playing the same stuff over and over again. So let's go ahead and just explain the basic features of an LFO and what it is and what it does. What I believe an LFO, it stands for a low frequency oscillator, I think. What it does is that at a very low frequency range, it has an oscillator down there, whatever one you have here. It could be the triangle, square, saw, sine, or whatever oscillator you select, or one of the more random curves. And what it does is it fluctuates and gives the oscillators over here certain hues, certain tones, and of course can make it wobble and wub wub as your heart's delight. Also, certain things can make it talk, and it's used predominantly in modern dance music all the time. So it's definitely a good feature to know how to use. So let's start off with something basic. Let's go down to -12 on this. And for the sake of sakes, I'll probably get a bunch of negatives for this. Put it on modern talking. And just put those right there. Okay, so let's play this by itself. Okay, pretty silly. Not cool. So let's go to LFO 5 and just route an LFO 5 here. Make sure the green's on top and just keep everything standard just like it came. Now let's go ahead and play it again and see the difference. Already sounds different and better in my opinion. Now by adjusting this rate, you can see how simple it is to make something quote unquote talk. So that's the basic feature of the LFO. The LFO can also be adjusted by many ways. You can adjust the rate like I just did here. You can go to the sync button and adjust the sync button. However you see fit in your song. I tend to stick with the rate button. It's easier for me, but really some songs it depends on the song. Then you have the amp button down here, which is going to adjust the amount of power or amplitude you're giving your LFO. I do automate that sometimes, and that'll create the LFO turning on and off, which I find very helpful for me. You have your X fade curve, which decides whether you have your oscillator running through here, or in the middle of both. You have your various waveforms to choose from, and also your more exotic waveforms. Some ones that I like to use, the expo downs. I like to use those oftentimes for, not so much on that preset, but on some presets you can make it sound pretty cool with lasers and gun type shooting stuff. So experiment with those. I'm also a fan of the vibratos. But again, all of these give different sounds, so I urge you to try them out and just see what sound you can get, because this sounds different than that or that. Granted, the differences might be fairly minute, but minute details can pay off big in the end. And then way over here, you have the attack and decay. Again, adjust these to taste. I really don't follow any rhyme or reason on this. I will just adjust them to whatever sounds better. So I urge you to do the same, and unless you want to take the time to learn them properly, which is also a good idea. Up in these tabs up here, you have the select LFO presets. I have never used those in my entire life, so go ahead. I've never even looked at them before. Feel free to check those out if you want. I've never used them, so I have no idea. And over here you have the performer and stepper, which I will go through in a later video. But let's show you some other features, a few other features that you can use the LFOs for. Within Massive, you can of course route the LFOs pretty much anywhere. So let's say you have, let's go ahead and take this off here, and let's change this to a, let's put it on a screamer. Let's route the LFO up here. Let's route it to a cutoff. First, let's play without it. So let's go ahead and turn this off and see what the sound sounds like. Okay, that's without an LFO. Let's route an LFO to the filter. Okay, it sounds like crap, but you get the gist of what adding an LFO to the filter section can do. And it's always going to give you different results depending on how you're routing it. You can also route it to, let's see what we can get out of this one. So basically the point, even though none of these sounded good, the point I wanted to show you was you not only can route the LFO to the oscillators, you can also route the LFOs to the filters. You can route the LFOs to any of these effects that you want to. You can route the LFOs down here. Just say you want to go down to a sample hold. Let's play that. A sample and hold on. Let's route an LFO to that. That might not be the most pleasant sound, but you can see how you can get different sounds. And eventually, you know, I don't produce too much dirty, as you would say, dirty dubstep or any of that stuff, but you can get some pretty grimy sounds by just routing random stuff to the LFO. So I urge you to play around with that if you get a chance. You can route it to any of these things that you want to, and it's something that I use often in my productions when I want to get just a hint of a more unique sound, even though I don't produce, as I said, too much really dirty stuff. Now, I think that pretty much covers the LFO section here. Let's go over to the, let's turn this back to a, just put it on square saw 2 all the way over, and go down to the mod oscillator tab. Let's also put this on here and put the amp just like that. Okay, so what the modulation oscillator, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 different phases to choose from. Now for the simplicity of this video, I'm just going to say that each of these will give you a different sound. I very rarely use FM, and I very rarely use position, as I never find they make much difference in my sounds. Ring mod once in a while, phase fairly often. So let me give you an example of phase. Let's put it on 2. Let's put this up to 12. Crank this up higher. So without phase. And then again, as I showed before, you can route the, and then as you can see, you get vastly different sounds. So I urge you to go and play around with those. At a later video, I'll go into details of what they're actually doing. But just for this video, I thought it'd be nice to tie those in as well, and just show that you can get some powerful features by routing the LFOs to this as well, even down in the FM filter frequency, FM filter section. So I think that about covers it for the LFOs. I said there's not much to them, but they're very, very powerful, so I urge you to use them. And of course, just in case you're new to Massive and you're unaware, a simple way to route the or automate your wobbles is just you can put your rate, like put your rate all the way down, and then put it right here. As you can see, I just dragged that to here, and now you can, you know, go into your DAW of choice, your audio workstation, and modulate this, which will then modulate your LFO, which will then modulate your wobbles. So hopefully that helped you guys learn a little bit more about the LFO. I said I'll have more advanced tutorials coming out soon with how to actually make basic wobbles and basic routings, and using all the features of Massive together instead of these early basic tutorials, which are basically just showing the overarching features of what each thing was. Cool. Hope this helps someone. Hope I didn't drag it out too long. And like I said before, check out my Facebook page. You can find tons of free presets, tons of free stuff, and lots of knowledge on there. So I urge you to check that out. All right, cool guys. Cheers. Peace.